Welcome to this week's edition of Reservations for One. It's 4th of July weekend. It's hot as a motherfucker out here. So my shirt might be a little wrinkled. I just had to bust out a new shirt because I done sweated out my other shirt. Cut the AC off for 5 minutes and it's that hot. This is why I'm definitely a fan of winter. You gotta be a maniac to like the summer over the winter. I really don't get it. Like I really don't understand it. So I'm not saying the summer is overrated. Cause the summer is fire, it's dope, but the winter is just 100 times better. Cause in the summertime, there's only so much stuff you could take off when you're hot. Like it's only so much stuff, and if you hot in the summertime and say all electricity go out and the world go to shits, there's nothing you can do. You just assed out. You hot in the wintertime. You can make fire. You can put on more clothes. It's just like way more options for survival. So I definitely could survive in the cold better than I can in the heat if the world was to end. um, speaking of, I was just thinking, right? Like, the oldest person I know personally, is probably about 85 years old, or I can say personally. And so what that mean they was born? All right, let's just say they 90. What's 90 years ago from 2020? Is that 90s 1930? So they was born in 1930. That's crazy. So let's just say in 1935 when they was 5 years old, they probably met somebody that was about 80 years old and 90 years old, and that's like 1830. So the person I know that was born in like 1930 probably met somebody that was born in like 1830, 1840. And that person probably met somebody that was born in like 1750. Like, time, people make it seem like all this stuff that happened, the historic stuff was so long ago, like with slavery and shit. This shit was really not that long ago, because everybody knows somebody that knew somebody that's like fucking that was alive at that time. So it really that much time has not passed like people make it seem, and that is crazy because that's like fucking the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. I know it's like knowing somebody that know Kanye, nigga. I know somebody that knows somebody that fucking knew somebody that was either a slave or a slave owner. So slavery was not as long ago as they make it seem. That's fucking crazy. So yes, I can see why like the effects and stuff is still to this day. What else happened? Oh shit! Shout out to, oh fuck! They saying, I just read that they letting gun in New York City, the gun laws, they giving us what they said it was. I think the Fifth Amendment, they allowing people in New York to carry guns. And I mean shit, most of the people here got guns anyway. You know, if you grew up here, that's just how you was raised. You know, you get a gun at like 12, 13 years old. But the I feel like the people with guns now are more responsible than the people. They gonna start giving everybody guns. Motherfuckers who having a bad day at work gonna be on the train. Somebody gonna step on their shoe. Because if you ever been on a train in during rush hour in New York City, you know how aggravating it is on the train. So somebody gonna step on your shoe, you gonna fuck around, pull out a gun, shoot them. Somebody gonna shoot you for shooting them, trying to be a good Samaritan. Like, oh, this guy got a gun. Somebody gonna see that good Samaritan shooting you and don't know the whole situation and start shooting at them. Somebody goes, it's gonna be like a fucking cartoon, a ripple effect of just motherfuckers on the train shooting each other. So that is definitely a very, very bad idea in New York City. But you know, I don't make the rules, man. Fuck it. You know what I tried to do the other day? I tried to make like a inspirational Instagram video. I sat in the car and was just trying to talk for inspiration. And I have a newfound respect for the people who could do that, because it was just so cringy and nerve-wracking. Like, at the whole time, I just felt like, what am I doing? What am I trying to say? Like, that just ain't my lane, you know? I just realized you just got to stay in your lane and stick with what's for you, because I had some good advice to give, but that's just not the way I got to give it, I realized, you know? So I do shout out to all of the people who are in their lane. And I listened to the radio the other day from Mad Long, and I heard the song As It Was. As It Was is the best song I've ever heard. Was it Harry Styles? Harry Styles As It Was is the best song I've ever heard in my entire life. Shout out to that cracker Harry Styles because he get busy. I hate the video. The video kind of sucked. The video kind of took away from it. That's another thing. People got to get back into making good videos. Good videos are coming back out. So if you want your song to be as great, you got to have a great video nowadays. For a couple of a long time, like artists been getting away with making subpar videos, and but now it's like a lot of creative artists out, and they've been making great videos. So, you know, you gotta get make great videos again. I think I'm gonna join Twitch too. Anybody that know anything about Twitch, hit me up. I need a little bit like I'm just trying to decide what lane I want to go in, because I'm not good at video games. I've been stopped playing video games. I'm actually worse than not good at video games. I'm actually horrible at them, but somebody told me I could even just play. Don't even matter if you're horrible about it. Or I might do the podcast start doing the podcast live on Twitch. So I don't know. I'm gonna decide now, but I think my Twitch is Bills on Demand. So if anybody wanna add me now, you can go add me now. Let's get into a couple of Ask Sadpitts questions. B Billion, no, B Billions. It's fine. I always find it funny when people call me B Billions, because I mean that is my name though. That is like my moniker. My that's damn near my real name now. It's been my name since I was like in 16 years old. Since I was like in fucking 10th, 11th grade. So that is my name, but people just call me Bills or Sadpitt or Sad. I always find it funny when people call me Sad or Brad. So that's funny though. B Billions. How much would you charge me to pick your brain? I'm starting a brand similar to yours, and I would like to get as much help as I can. Motherfucker, why would I help you if you're gonna be my competition? Nah, I'm joking. I don't give a fuck about that. If you black, nothing. If you black or Mexican, you know, I'm like, my father's half Mexican, so if you black or Mexican, I got you. You feel me? You can just hit me up anytime if you want. Just email me again. I'll email you back actually. Got your email, or you could pull up to the store, come chop it up in here with me and shit. Because I help anybody black. I help anybody. You know, I don't really like to charge. You know, I do charge a consulting fee to businesses when businesses ask me that. But like a normal person or anybody asks me any questions, you know, I'm always for giving with information, like to help as much people as I can, because I believe that's the way that we get up. You feel me? Like, ain't nobody gonna help us, but we gotta help each other. Like, you know, so anybody got anything, if you black. If you a white kid, if you like under 22, I got you. You feel me? You still a kid. I help any type of kids, anything like that. But anybody else got to pay top dollar. You know, email me, booking fee, hit me at Bills on Demand, bbillions@saturday.com. All right. Is this the same guy? Do you have any advice for a creative feeling stuck? I would say like just take some baby steps, you know. If you feel stuck, just don't be afraid to take baby steps. A little progress is better than no progress, better than being stagnant. Don't quit working. Don't stop working. That's another thing. Just don't stop working. Just keep going. Don't take time off. Like you maybe need, if you do take some time off, don't take too much time off, because a lot of people think taking time off, then you get lazy, then it's hard to get back in your groove. Just keep working, or don't be afraid to take a step backwards. There's nothing wrong with taking a step backwards and readjusting your focus. Sometimes you going down a road and that may not be the road for you. So if you take a step back, you can see other paths, or you might see a new way to that same exact path you're going down. So don't be afraid to take a step back, you know? Or just get smarter. I would say get smarter, like learn new things. Like right now, I'm fucking learning coding. I've been taking online coding classes, learning coding, so I can start building websites for shit I need, and eventually I want to learn how to build apps and shit. I got so much ideas that I'm just learning, and I don't want to keep relying on other people to bring my ideas into fruition. So I'm learning fucking coding. So learn something new, get smarter. It's always ways to get smarter, always ways to, like, you know, you got to realize your weaknesses. Like I know one of my weaknesses is networking. I hate networking. That's why I don't really have guests on the podcast. That's why I done turned down mad jobs where they wanted me to interview people and shit like that. And that's just not my thing. I don't like talking to people, one, because I think I'm more interested in everybody in the world. Think I'm funnier than them. I think I'm more handsome than them. So I do have a problem with that. So I do have to work extra harder. to get to where I need to get to because I don't like the networking. So that's one of my weaknesses. So I just learned to work around that. Work harder, work smarter. So learn your weaknesses and shit like that. This I'm gonna start up a new thing I'm doing on the podcast is explaining a tweet of mine. Somebody told me idea that I should start explaining like one tweet of mine each episode. And this one I picked. I took 2 years not to date or waste nobody time and work on myself as a person. And all I learned was wasting somebody time is better than being lonely. And that's a fact. That is definitely a fact. Because half the time you're not really wasting nobody time. Like, as long as you're being honest with them. As long as you're not saying like, oh, we're gonna get married and this and that, and you don't got no intentions of getting married to this person. Just set your clear intentions. You're not wasting nobody's time because being lonely is the worst shit in the world. You don't work on nothing. You don't get nowhere by being lonely. You gotta learn on the fly. Like, how the fuck you gonna learn to be in a good relationship by being by yourself? You don't learn to be in the NBA by just practicing by yourself, right? No, you got to play against other people. You got to escape the competition. You got to lose a couple battles. You got to win a couple. Get your confidence up. So being lonely is definitely wrong. Cause even look, all the women that I left alone, that I felt like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna leave them alone. I'm gonna let them try to go find somebody to be happy. They ended up worse off than what I was doing. So it's like, what the fuck? I should have just stayed in there. But all right, that was a quick episode of Ask Sad Pitt. You can find me on Twitter at bbillions, Instagram Sad Pitt. Reservations For One is the podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube and to the podcast. Yeah, podcast or whether you listen to it on Apple. Shit. Make sure you come down to the Saturday store. Go to Saturday.com, cop some new merch. We out of here.